attention to reality, you know, they get demonized. And I'm just one of these soldiers out here trying to bring attention back to reality.
Or what the hell she asked? I was waiting for her
She's
to
talking about the beauty
tie it in.
standard. These black folks' minds are so warped. I understand why this particular person, the one in the blue, would say that, because she's trying to maximize her pool of potential suitors.
So your organization work with transgender people,
Yes.
right? And you are a transgender person.
Yes.
And what is a transgender person?
Well, a transgender person, such as myself, is someone who doesn't necessarily conform to the stereotypical ways the society sees an individual, meaning sex and gender. Those are social constructs. So I do not.
Sex now I thought they changed gender into a social construct. Hold on, I got the wrong shirt on. My bad. All right. Ain't no social construct, especially with some damn sex, right? If sex is a social construct, then social construct these nuts.
Not conform to the sex that I was assigned when I was born.
And you were born a boy.
As a boy. I was born a boy.
So you had the boy body parts and everything.
Yes. I was born with what is considered to be a boy.
Right.
Yes.
And so you were born a boy. Mm-hmm. And then you
grew up as a boy.
And you grew up as a boy. Mm-hmm. How old were you before you switched over to become a woman, a girl?
I think it's important that we understand
Get the words right.
processes that people have to go through, right?
Oh, never mind.
If we understand child development, right, like a young child understands and lives purely, right? And so, you know, we know at a very early age who we are, right? But it is because of societal constructs.
That's
right?
cap. That's not true. You don't know at a very early age who you are. And that's the reason why we in as much trouble as we are now with the fucking kids, because y'all pushing this bullshit on them. Y'all are forcing shit on them too soon for them to fucking make permanent decisions about themselves. Talking about motherfuckers don't know themselves until they goddamn 20s, 30s some damn time. That's cap. That is bullshit. And that's dangerous to fucking be putting out there.
Those influences that we say blue is for boys and pink is for girls, right? Those are things that are ingrained into us. And because of those,
your body parts also let you know that you're a boy too, right?
But again, it's
But
a
that is
social
true.
construct.
I don't know what you mean by that, but your body parts do let you know I'm either a boy or a girl, right?
But
without having to be told.
According to society, and again, those social constructs that I'm talking about is that those institutions
how the fuck is your dick a social construct? How the fuck is your fallopian tubes a social construct? They want to redefine everything to fit their narrative, bro. That is crazy. That is crazy, man. Leave the shit that's been working alone and come up with your own shit, bro. Leave this shit alone. That's why you fucking motherfuckers up now. That is just entirely false. I don't even agree with the whole gender shit being a social construct. It's not. But y'all can socially construct y'all can socially construct some new shit to make y'all feel better and live in y'all's own world, right? But you're not a woman. You ain't. There's nothing you can do about it, right? You can come on here and act like it. You know what I'm saying? But that's frustrating. That is frustrating, and that is the damn war we're fighting. When they're sitting there trying to redefine biology. The fuck? Sex is a social you done lost your motherfucking mind.
Those constructions that society has said that, you know, if you have a penis, you're a boy. And if you have a vagina, you're a girl, right?
That's a fact.
Those are things that have been created to sort of like...
No. Ain't. That's what it is. And what needs to happen is if you're born with a dick and you don't identify as a boy, then you can socially construct what a transgender woman is. Construct that, right? Construct that. Manufacture that. It's a whole different motherfucker. But leave the shit, leave the real shit. I ain't even trying to diss. I'm not trying to diss because transgenders are real. That's a real thing. But leave the shit that don't need to be fucked with alone.
You know, in some ways divide people from humanity, as you put it.
So when you were a boy, did someone have
I was here to fucking listen to Jesse Lee You know what I'm saying? Dig into this person, man. But this shit be getting me tight every time, dog. They sound crazy.
And tell you that you were a boy, or did you know that on your own?
Pretty much. I
You
mean,
knew on your own?
no, pretty much. I was told that I was supposed to, because I was, because I was born with certain genitalia, right? That I was supposed to do certain things as a boy.
And
right?
so how long did you grow as, how old did you?
There's no difference between that and like, a really flamboyant gay dude not wanting to conform to the societal pressures of what it is to be a boy. Right? You got feminine men that don't like to do masculine shit. That has nothing to do with this motherfucker no longer claiming to be a boy. That's a whole different situation in itself.
Become as a boy with all the boy body parts?
Well, again,
I mean, at what age did you switch?
Well, again, I just want to sort of like give you a context, right? So that
Right.
we are able to understand
Okay.
How we as individuals, right, like start developing and how we start forming our own way of thinking.
Right.
However, our parents, right,
Right.
who are obviously the ones who are closest to us and who helps us, shape the way we think and the way we act and all of those things, they are influenced into the same beliefs. These are, again, social constructs that have been formulated.
Okay, I understand that. I understand you're saying that your parents decided whether you're going to be a boy or a girl.
Pretty much, because an innocent person,
But if you were born a boy, a male, they didn't make that decision. God made that decision because you became a boy inside your mother's womb.
Yes.
And so they had nothing to do with that, right?
But what I'm saying is
Am
that
I right about
even-
that, though?
Yes, but what I'm saying.
I know, but just stay with me on that. I am right that you were formed in your mother's womb where your parents had no decision whether you would be a boy or a girl.
Uh-huh.
Is that right?
I mean, anatomically, yes.
Okay, and then you popped out on your birthday and you were a boy. And they're like, wow, we have a son. So they didn't make that decision. God made that decision. Am I right?
I would say yes, nature.
Okay.
Yes.
And so you were growing up as a boy. How old were you before you decided, I don't like these parts, I'm going to take them off and put on a woman's parts? What age did that come about?
What I'm trying to explain to you
Just
is.
tell me that age, though.
Well, when I started my transition,
At
right?
what age?
I was about 19 years old.
And so what made you decide at 19, I don't like this, I'm going to take off my boy body parts, and I'm going to put on a
He trying to
woman's
trigger him,
body
bro. He know
part.
what he doing.
What made you make that decision at 19?
Okay, so let me just say that I think there needs to be a little more education, right? Because,
Right,
to be
and I wanna understand
a
that.
trans woman in my case, right?
Uh-huh.
It doesn't necessarily mean that you want to remove or that you want to have some certain surgical procedures in order to be who you are,
Right.
right?
No, right. You didn't, when you first realized that when you first realized you wanted to be a woman, to remove the body parts wasn't the first thought, right?
Well, again, let me just.
When did you know you felt like a girl and not a
At
boy?
least Buddy being patient
That's what I
with
was trying
Jesse.
to explain to you, right? Because this is when you're young. That's sort of like you're innocent and you simply want to be, right?
Right.
You sort of like know that whatever people are telling you is not matching to what you have within your body and what you're supposed to be doing.
Meaning that you had the boy look and the boy body parts, but inwardly you felt like a girl.
Correct.
Correct. And so what did a girl feeling feel like?
I am gonna, in those expressions or those sort of like behaviors, right, are portrayed in a way that you're attracted to, different things that you're being told to be attracted to. For instance, in most cases, people like who are boys, for instance, they are influenced into playing with cars, with guns, with,
Right.
like what are supposed to be boy toys, right?
Yes.
But then you as an innocent child, you start sort of like be attracted to other things, right?
Like dogs and things.
Like dolls.
But that
specifically.
don't mean you a girl. That don't mean you a girl. And there's plenty of little girls out here who like cars and guns and G.I. Joes and shit. So that mean that they boys? That argument is stupid. That is a very valid question. You know what I'm saying? I'm not trying to invalidate those trans folks who really believe who they portray themselves to be. That is a valid question. If you were born a certain sex, how do you know that you are not that sex based on what you're thinking? So how are you making those connections? Like if you're born a boy, how do you know that you're a girl? Because you like girly things, that makes you a girl? You just could be a feminine man. And then if you were trans and you keep your dick and you identify as a woman, how does that work? How does that work? You can't be a girl and have a dick. And vice versa. You can't be a man and have a pussy. But that's just me thinking out loud. Right? Right. That's why you should just empower these individuals to be trans. That disconnect of whatever it could be. You could identify as a motherfucking computer. You don't identify with what you were born as, so you're transitioning into something else. That is a thing. Just hold on to that and stop trying to redefine what the majority know as a woman and as a man. Why can't we just do that? Like, what's wrong with that? And everybody be hunky-dory. Nah, I'm a woman. Like, how the fuck you know?
But did you feel like a girl?
I did.
And what does a girl feeling feel like?
I think obviously a girl.
Like all girls feel the same. Like all girls feel the same, right? What does a girl feel like? All girls feel the same.
Opinion or the way I remember is obviously having a sense of authenticity, right? But at the same time,
what does that mean?
Want to have that authenticity, but not being able to have it because you are being told
Right.
that that's not you.
That's right. So what I want to
Gay
know
people
though,
go through the
growing
same
up as a
shit.
little boy, you were feeling on the inside like a girl. You had the feelings
much.
of a girl, right?
He ain't answered
What
the
was
question,
those
though.
feelings? Can you tell me what that felt like? What did it feel like? What does a girl feeling feel like inside of a boy?
Well, I mean, I think what I'm trying to explain to you is that, oftentimes we get this sense of confusion, right? Because we're feeling a certain way.
What did you feel like?
Well, it's hard to describe.
You can't describe what you felt like?
I
How
don't
do you
think
know
so.
that that's
I don't
a
think
girl?
So
anybody
how
can
did you
tell
know
you.
you felt like a girl then if you can't describe what you felt like?
Again, I'm telling you that when you are a young, let's say 4 or 5 years old, right?
Right.
You are innocent. Your mind is not.
But as you get older, though, you turn 7, you turn 12, you
Right.
turn 14.
Right.
Were you feeling like a girl at 14?
You feel that you're not matching what you feel inside.
And what were you feeling inside?
Yeah, how do you know how do you know that
That's
what
what I'm
you're
trying to find out.
feeling
I'm trying to
inside
find
is
out.
a girl?
What make a man get to
Well,
the
because
point
it's
where
hard it's hard to describe. I mean,
But how do you know you
in
felt
my
like
own personal, because you have to understand my background, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, and obviously, it don't seem like you did any kind of research to find out my story and where I come
Man, here
from.
we go.
Right?
Don't
You
be
came from
contradicting the
Mexico.
motherfucker. He's asking you
Were you
basic
raised by
questions.
your father, mother?
No,
Just your mother?
my mother, yes.
Did you know your father?
I met my father when I was 15.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
What was it like growing up without your father?
Well, then again, that's where, in my own personal life, you have to understand that for me, right, because of that sense of confusion and because of the sense of not having, a father figure, not having those things, right, I had to resort into using drugs when I was about 8 years old.
Here we go.
Right? And so for me, that was my refuge to sort of like try to make sense of who I was and also try to find the love that was lacking, right?
Because your father wasn't there, you felt the lack of love.
Many different things.
Right.
That was part of it, of course.
Okay, and so as a result, you ended up using drugs and things like that because of that empty feeling.
Yes.
And-
Now I understand that. At that time, I didn't.
Right,
But
I
yes.
understand, right.
More of the same dumb shit. I mean, but it's not dumb. It's not like it's dumb that that person couldn't answer the question. Like, how do you know what a girl feels like? That's why we don't even know what a girl is right now, because everybody can identify with it, say they feel different, or they feel like they think they know what a girl feels like when you don't know what a girl feels like, because you're not a fucking girl. But how do you know what the fuck that is? No, you know what being trans feels like. You know what that dysphoria feels like. You know what I mean? But you don't know that that's what girls feel like, because you're not a fucking girl. And I just hate them trying to fucking bogart real women's identity. You know what I'm saying? Men's identity. Real women's identity, real women's ain't a word. Real women identities and real men identities. You know what I mean? That frustrates the hell out of me, man. And it's a battle I'm going to continue to fight. But anyway, good job, Jesse.